And we are recording. So, just kind of just gonna do a little recap here. We recorded this game live, and there was a couple technical malfunctions in the in that process. Like my dad, just he clicked off the thing. Click off the thing. So we're going to everybody close your eyes so you don't get the results spoiled for you. But we're going to look at the analysis. Here's the game. I'll give you the evaluation. Okay, so here's the game. I'm playing black. Paige, can you see?
Yeah, I can see the game.
Everything's hunky-dory. Okay, so here's the game. I was not feeling good before this game started. I was feeling kind of anxious. I knew Stefan had been playing really well in this tournament, and I was a little afraid to go against him. It was also a very important game just in terms of my standing. If I won, I would get 4 points. If Stefan won, he would get 3 points. And then, kind of depending what happened with Jackson Conrad, we might have a 4-way playoff. So it's very exciting, all the possibilities. Stefan, I know, likes the Roy Lopez or the Spanish, which I didn't want to deal with. I didn't want to deal with his prep. Roy Lopez looks kind of like this after the knight gets pinned. Still no up arrows. That's kind of what the Roy Lopez looks like. I was just going to play the Sicilian because I was going to. That's usually what I play. Take, threaten the queen. He moves there, which I think is probably fine. I move this out. The idea behind this is if the pawn pushes, then you can kind of come here, and I'll kind of show you what this. Can I just go into explore mode? If the pawn pushes, I go here, and this is basically unstoppable to protect. So that was the idea behind that. It did not happen. Instead, he plays like it's a Roy Lopez. Although in this instance, the knight is not pinned because there's a pawn there. I say you got to make a choice here. Takes. I'm not sure. It says taking that way was the best. I'm not sure what I was thinking, honestly. I just know that in the Roy Lopez, you want to take with that pawn, which maybe you shouldn't always just do your openings like that because it's different. Anyway, knight comes out, bishop pins it to nothing because I thought that'd be fun. I like this because it if his queen ever moves, then I get to take this and open up his pawn structure. But so far, pretty even game. A little awkward with this structure over here, but and kind of nothing developed over here, but not like a bad game. Nothing really wrong with it. I was thinking about pushing here, which would be guarded by the queen, and then attacking with the bishop to try and get the queen away, and then take like that. Although queen away would have to go there. But those are some of the things I was thinking about. He pushes. I say I have no problem with that. The queen's not really threatening anything. Can't go here because the knight, queen, pawn. So kind of forces the queen's hand to go somewhere else. This was tricky. I had an idea here, which was after trade, take, trap, which doesn't actually work because, for instance, he doesn't have to trade here. He can go here instead. Which case, if I try and trade here, he can go here instead. So if I try and trade like this, it's no longer trapped. But the idea was that he would take, and then actually he's still fine. Well, even if the idea was if he goes here, I just get a pawn, I guess. But it's a very tactical idea. Not sure it was really that good because there's kind of some answers to it. But I don't think that was it. I don't think that was the answer. This pawn ends up being very annoying to me because I'm trying to activate my queen and bishop on this diagonal, but it's kind of hard to get to. That does never really come into play, but it was one of the things. As again, if takes, you're coming here. So kind of forces him to take with the pawn, which is good for me. Now I can't exactly activate my queen just yet, but I want to, and I'm looking for that. This is guarded here. Similar ideas of queen trade and take the free pawn. It says it's the best move, but you know, it might not have been. He opts to go here instead to guard against that free pawn move, kind of nullifying that sequence. But I decided to go here. According to the computer, that's a mistake. I think the computer's wrong. This pin, if you're noticing that, is important. And I undervalued that. One of my ideas was I wanted to go here with this pawn. And I wanted to go here with this pawn and just make it really difficult for this knight to move. But we ended up not having time for that. He attacks the knight. I protect the knight. I win this trade. Bang, bang versus bang, bang. Comes over, attacks the queen. I really like this move. I thought this move was super clever. Because it has this double attack here or here, which is very difficult to stop. You know, if you do nothing, the knight can take, or the queen can take. So it gets difficult. Rook moves to protect this pawn, and I say free real estate. Turns out, not that great of an idea. My thought was, hey, I'll protect my knight. I'll be fine. Computer didn't like that.
Lord.
The computer did not like that at all.
The question marks.
I saw this. Well, actually, one sec, real quick. There was something in here which I thought would have been really cool, which was oh yeah. It was in this position. What I was hoping would happen, which did not, was I was hoping we get this, stack the rook, take this, and then this is basically unstoppable. That's what I was hoping would happen. But it did not. And my focus on this square ended up being the death of me, because instead of this trade happening on that square, it happened on this square, which was really bad. Now, I still thought I was okay after I saved my rook, but I forgot this came with check. And it was in this moment where I realized I was in trouble. Because before that move, I thought I was going to be able to move the bishop and castle, and then I realized, oh my gosh, that comes with check. I'm completely hosed. I'm scared of this move because of that. Although I suppose the bishop can take. But there's lots of things that weren't going on here. My instinct was telling me, and I shouldn't listen to it, but my instinct was telling me that if I can get my knight over there, I'm still going to have a strong enough attack. So don't try and do any of this drama. Don't try and go for this and make a draw. Because I was like, I can still make it. I'll still be fine. I just need to get my knight over to this square. So instead I come here, which ended up being a great idea. Bishop comes in, and I was like, ha ha ha, such a great move. You know, ignoring that this comes with check, and is just picks up the knight completely for free. Which isn't even the best move, by the way. I think the engine wants to just take the rook, but you can literally just pick up this knight completely for free versus like a bishop trade. But yeah, no, this was bad. This was bad for me. I suppose the king can't probably take bishop back. I suppose he has to take the bishop back, actually. Like, this looks bad. Well, ignore that. But, you know, the position is not great. But yeah, I was kicking myself so hard after this move, because he can just take the knight and I was very upset with myself about that. So he goes here, and all I'm thinking about is how can I save this knight? Like ignoring everything else about this position. I'm thinking if I've got this knight, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be clean. I'm gonna win. He's got a minute 42. I've got 10 minutes because I don't think when I'm playing. I come here. Awesome. I'm totally fine. Ignore the mate in 3. In this position, I honestly believe that I had him. In this position, I was like, he doesn't have anything on me. I said he can take this. I'm gonna move, and then I'm gonna checkmate him. I would love to know what Stefan thought the eval was in this position. He does that, which makes sense, but again, I'm just like, I don't even care. What did I do here? Right, I was upset about that, but I realized I had this secondary thing that I could do, where I could swing this over or swing it over here. And he obviously saw that, and I was like, I don't know how you're gonna stop that, Stefan. I'm like talking to myself at this point, with all the cockiness in the world, because this is strong. You can't move the rook away to escape this. Stefan makes some sort of dick move where he checks me. I don't really want to go back here because I feel like it leads to bad things. If anything, leads to a repetition. And again, in this position, I think I'm winning because I don't think he can defend as quickly as he can attack. So I just go here, basically threatening rook g4, trapping the queen. So it's devastating. So I'm here, and I'm like, I've got so much like I was looking at this like +4 thing that Stefan's got going on, and I'm like, I don't even care. I don't even care because I'm gonna win this, and I'm gonna just. There's nothing you can do about your king. Apparently, there was something he could do about his king, and suddenly, this is no longer an option because it just gets taken, and like you get it back, but like at what cost? So I have to get very uncomfortable here and block like that. This probably would have been possible. Maybe it would have even been best. But I just didn't want to lose it. It was my only attacking agent. I suppose there was maybe some sort of option like this and trying to attack like that. But at that point, that was just too much material for me to be losing. Queen e3. Yeah, still not good. There was too much material for me to be losing. I wanted to hold on to that rook. And I realized in this position, I realized not only was I in trouble, but I no longer had any real tricks up my sleeve. And I had to just legitimately try and play as best as I could, which is a huge sad. Because I'm very tactical and I like being tactical, but I just don't have any. I don't have any chances. I don't have any tactical chances. I have to just completely pull back from that strategy and just backpedal entirely. Pawn g5. This was such a rat move from Stefan. He's up material. He knows it. He's going to trade off the queens. I don't have any kind of choice. I can choose to trade here, or I can choose to trade, here. The advantage is nothing. There's no advantage. So I decided instead to use the time to, I guess, make him react to me. I guess, why did I trade there? I guess, oh, yeah. I just decided to trade. All right, it was my choice. Takes. Haha, I'm so tricky. I forked your knight and your pawn. And if you move your knight, I'm going to take your bishop. So what does this rat do? Here, threatening this check. So I can take this, but I'll lose a rook, and I'm not in a position to be making that kind of bargaining. Yes, I can take the knight back, and that's technically like up a play, but I needed the material more than that. I needed the rooks. It's an end game. Yeah, it wanted me to do it, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep my rook. I know it's not very active yet, but I felt like that's what I had to do. These 3 pawns were too powerful. I needed the material on the board. He comes here. I threaten the knight, just trying to get some kind of advantage. To which he instead goes here. He says, we're down material, let's trade it off. So I say, all right, let's do that. We trade it off. We are now somewhere on the line. He went from +4 to +2. How did that work? How do I count? I guess he just sacked his knight, thinking he could trade down and be even. I guess that was a pretty big blunder on his part. This is obviously under attack. This pawn can't move. This is incoming if it ever wants to be. Moves that. Makes perfect sense. This was a really fun part for me to miscalculate, going there, thinking that, you know, he can't guard with the rook because it's guarded, but he can go like that, which is a problem for me. Here, there, and I've frozen everything. This can't move because of that. And then that's going to come here, and this can't take because of that. So with 8 points of material, I have effectively frozen, I guess, 7 points. Not a huge loss. But again, I mean, that's totally possible. The king can get in here. Not super fun place to be for me. But I was happy that I'd stopped these 3 pawns. Oh, I guess it would be 8 points of material. With 8 points of material, I had stopped 8 points of material. Good for me. Because these pawns were a massive threat. Bishop comes back. I have to figure out what to do. I was hoping he would trade here, and then I could have 2 passed pawns. You know, where I guess I'd have 1 passed pawn that I could march up this way, but he was too clever for me. This happens. This happens. King starts getting activated. I realize that's a problem. Coming in hot. So then I decide to take here because this pawn was guarding my entrance. And so I needed to infiltrate on this square to prevent the king from getting here. Because the king and the bishop would block up those 2 squares. If this king can get here, he has to take because otherwise he has major problems. He takes. I push up. Pushes the pawn, I think because he knows he doesn't have a lot of really good moves here. So I do the same thing. Rook comes up. I realize I'm in trouble. This is... I'm like reliving the sweat from this end game. I'm panicking, trying to figure out if this is still winnable. My instinct says it is, but my body says no. Come back here, say, let's trade the bishops off. Just see what happens. Takes. King moves over. I counter threat with this. And I'm guessing he probably should have pushed up here. Because this pawn is better than this pawn. Although this pawn is guarding this, so who's to say what's better? He goes there. I say thank you. Pawn passant with check. That lets me get the other pawn. So it's +4 advantage with the scariest looking endgame you've ever seen in your life. He still cannot push this, and he can't push this. I think maybe this would have been the play, but he decides to go here instead with check. I come here because I know that this, the pawn moving 2 will be protected by the king, and so I prepare that. He comes here. I don't know what that move does. I go up. I say, I'm getting ready. I knew this was a bad move. I knew this was a bad move because I knew he was trying to separate me from the pawn, or block me behind it. But I can make a threat on him, which doesn't afford him any time. So, you know, the idea would be, you know, like I move over here and suddenly he has time to go here. But instead, I come here with a threat. He can't go here anymore because I'll gladly take this. And that's probably winning. Yeah, I think I would just go after these pawns. It's not clear, but you know, it's not super clear, but probably I can get my king in front of here and then just promote this. But by checking the rook, you don't really check the rook, but by attacking the rook, he doesn't get any time. Double attack. Now I'm going to use this square to push that pawn. I don't know what this move did, but I guess he just wanted to be able to push his pawn, maybe. And he does. And I push this. This is one of my favorite techniques in the endgame, is using the king one row away from where the rook is. Because the rook can't come over here. It's so pretty. He's going to realize very shortly now that he has to do something about this. Right here. So he's moving the king out of the way while protecting the pawn in order to go capture this pawn on the back rank, which I thought was great. Makes a lot of sense. Does give me time to capture this bad boy, which I do with pleasure. He marches the pawn forward, and then I spent probably the most amount of time that I spent this whole goddamn game on this next move, which was, so I was looking at all sorts of stuff. I was looking at this, but just protect, walk up, and grab. I was looking at this with ideas of, if you come here, I'll take it back. Here, you know, maybe march the king up and, you know, attack, keep this king from ever escorting it too far. But I eventually went with this. He goes out to protect, which is what I thought he would do, and then come here with ideas of coming here. I honestly thought I could catch this pawn. I was wrong. Goes there. I was like, aha, now you have to take me. I'm gonna take, this is what I saw. Take, and then there's this fun dance sequence that you can do. Where is he? Here, and then, well, actually, it just loses. But this is what I saw. But it's not what happened, because what happened was Stefan instead just said, I'm gonna promote, which was brilliant. It's just a brilliant, like, sacrifice of the rook, because he's much better with the queen, and I can't stop the pawn now. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to take here or make a queen. According to the engine, it doesn't matter. But I ended up making a queen because I felt like it was better to keep this threat alive. Promotes, takes. It's apparently a missed win. That's incorrect, because no one knows how to play this endgame. Then came the final dance. Check. At first, I thought I need to get close to the queen so it can't check me. But then I realized that doesn't make any sense at all. Then I realized I have to get farther away, and I thought, I'm going to hide myself by the rook. And maybe I can, you know, get some sort of action here, something like that. That quickly doesn't work. Quickly doesn't work. And I end up saying, all right, rook doesn't work. It's got to be the queen. There we go. Finally, I get what I want. I get to move the queen in front. And now I'm kind of making demands. Now he has to react to me, and I'm constricting his movement pretty considerably here. You know, so he's got this check. He's got this check. He's got that check, but he's not going to do that. So pretty much only gives him one move. I say, I'll move out of the way, and then I realize that was the wrong thing to do. Move out of the way the other way. Because now I finally got him where I want, which is nowhere. He cannot. He can't go anywhere because let's see. Well, he can't go anywhere without giving me the initiative, which is completely deadly to him with this kind of material advantage. So, for example, this king blocks the check here, and there's just no checks. They don't exist. And there's nothing for you to do. And so he, with style, resigns. But that was so sweaty. How long did I take on that one? Because I didn't take any time in the game. And in this position, so the details. That's not it. Oh, I can just click for. So I'm 11:13. Yeah, I took a bit over a minute and a half, which for me is a very long time, as you can tell if you've been keeping your eyes on the timer. Stefan was in major time trouble basically since here. This is when Stefan got under a minute. And as you can see, we're both making moves in 10-second increments. Crazy game, really crazy game. I'd love to know what Stefan thought. Anyway, thank you for watching. Paige, thank you for listening. Hello.
Hello.
All right, and so yeah, so I won the game barely, and I have 4 points now. So now it's up to Conrad Jackson to decide how this ends. If Jackson wins, I'll just win, and if Conrad wins, Conrad and I will go into a playoff. All right.